So today I'm going to be reading Fantastic Mr. Fox, okay, by Roald Dahl, okay. Now I'll be starting the book today, and on Thursday you're going to have Miss Gemma. So at 1 o'clock on Thursday, you can go on another Zoom and Miss Gemma will carry on reading the book. So I will start the book and she'll carry on. And then next week, you might have someone else reading to you. Okay, so this is illustrated by Quentin Blake. Okay, and we have the characters. We have Mr. Fox, Mrs. Fox, the small foxes, the badger, and then we have farmers, Boggis, Bunce, and Bean. Okay, and what we'll do later on in this story, or later on in this chapter, we'll hear a rhyme about Boggis, Bunce, and Bean. Okay, and we'll have to see if we can remember it. Okay, so chapter 1, the 3 farmers. Down in the valley, there were 3 farms. The owners of these farms had done very well. They were rich men. They were also nasty men. All 3 of them were about as nasty and as mean as any man you could ever meet. Their names were Farmer Boggis, Farmer Bunce, and Farmer Bean. And here we go, look, you can just see a picture of them down in their farm in the valley. Boggis was a chicken farmer. He kept thousands of chickens. He was enormously fat. This was because he ate 3 boiled chickens smothered with dumplings every day for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Okay, can we see the picture here of Farmer Boggis? Bunce was a duck and goose farmer. He kept thousands of ducks and geese. He was a kind of pot-bellied dwarf. He was so short, his chin would have been underwater in the shallow end of a swimming pool. His food was doughnuts and goose livers. Ew! He smashed the livers into a disgusting paste and then stuffed the paste into doughnuts. This diet gave him tummy ache and a beastly temper. And here he is, look, mashing his goose livers into a paste. Ooh. Bean was a turkey farmer and apple. He kept thousands of turkeys in an orchard full of apple trees. He never ate any food. Instead, he drank gallons of strong cider, which he made from the apples in his orchard. He was as thin as a pencil, but he was the cleverest of them all. And here he is, look, Bean, all tall, with his turkeys. Okay, so this is the rhyme that children used to say about them. Okay, Boggis, Bunce, and Bean, one fat, one short, one lean. These horrible crooks, so different in looks, were none of the less equally mean. This is what the children round and about used to sing when they saw them. Okay, chapter 2. Now we're going to find out all about Mr. Fox. We see here, what was a picture of Mr. Fox? On the hill above the valley, there was a wood. In the wood, there was a huge tree, and under the tree was a hole. In the hole lived Mr. Fox and Mrs. Fox, and their 4 small foxes. Every evening, as soon as it got dark, Mr. Fox would say to Mrs. Fox, "Well, my darling, What shall it be this time? A plump chicken from Boggis? A duck or a goose from Bunce? Or a nice turkey from Bean? And when Mrs. Fox had told him what she wanted, Mr. Fox would creep down into the valley in the darkness of night and help himself. Boggis and Bunce and Bean knew very well what was going on, and it made them wild with rage. They were not men who liked to give anything away. Less still did they like anything to be stolen from them. So every night, each of them would take his shotgun and hide in a dark place somewhere on his own farm, hoping to catch the robber. But Mr. Fox was far too clever for them. He always approached the farm with the wind blowing in his face. This meant that if any man were lurking in the shadows ahead, the wind would carry the smell of that man to Mr. Fox's nose from far away. Thus, if Mr. Boggis was hiding behind his chicken coop number 1, Mr. Fox would smell him out from 50 yards and quickly change direction, heading for chicken house number 4 at the other end of the farm. Mr. Fox is very clever, isn't he? Dang and blast that fox, that lousy beast, cried Boggis. I'd like to rip his guts out, said Bunce. He must be killed, cried Bean. But how? Said Boggis. How on earth can we catch the blighter? Bean picked his nose delicately with a long finger. I have a plan, he said. You've never had any decent plan yet, said Bunce. Shut up and listen, said Bean. Tomorrow night we will all hide just outside the hole where the foxes live. We will wait there until he comes out. Then bang, bang, bang. Very clever, said Bunce. But first, we have to find the hole. My dear Bunce, I've already found it, said the crafty Bean. It's up in the woods, on the hill. It's a huge tree.